Well, people might not think that someone like me would experience bullying, but I can see it from both points of view, because obviously as a boss and a very strong, opinionated woman, I've been accused of being a bully. And that's a really difficult situation because, you know, I'm very forceful. I say what I want. I don't suffer fools. And I haven't got a lot of people skills. So sometimes I have been accused of being a bully. And that, all I can say in my defence is that's not my intention. I'm not a malicious person. But something spooky happened to me relatively recently in the last few years. I was in a work situation and I suddenly realised that I was being bullied, but in a very subtle way, where there were a gang of people that just sought to exclude me, that made me feel a little bit weird and unnerved. And it was only when I went home afterwards I realised it was happening. It kind of saps your confidence.
I know. Oh, it's so, because I had the same experience in an adult workplace, and it does make you feel like that 7-year-old in the playground, that you go home and you do feel isolated. I mean, I used to go home and literally cry. I'd never show them where I was at work, but I used to cry. And the next day, that, you know, that horrible school feeling of that thing in your stomach, and you go, I don't want to go. And, you know, and like Ray and my son Jake, who was a lot younger at the time, they were like, we want to come down and sort it out. And I was like, no, you make it worse. You know, it was all of that. And you feel as an adult, like, I should be able to deal with this. I'm a grown woman.
Did you tell anyone at the workplace?
No, I didn't actually. I mean, I told a few that I was feeling, you know, really down and a bit insecure, but you don't really know where to go.
Was it someone in a higher position to
you?
So
then you think, well, you know, if I dob that person in or accuse them of this, it's probably me that's going to lose the job and not them, and it's scary.
Yeah, and did you tell anyone?
No, I would tell my partner, and I said, I just feel uncomfortable, but maybe it's me. Well, see, what happens with bullying that's really subtle is that you think there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And, of course, bullying takes all sorts of different forms. I mean, friends can bully you. Family can bully you.
Yeah.
You don't realise... And in relationships, you can be bullied. And you don't realise you're totally brainwashed.
Do you think bullies know they're bullying people?
No.
I think some do.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like it's an intimidation thing. I really recently was in a situation where somebody purposely went out of their way to sit right beside me and intimidate me and say things about me out aloud so that I could hear and that I had to endure it. And it wasn't even discreet. This person wanted to intimidate me. So I do think sometimes it's intentional.
Yeah.
I also believe that actually these people are doing it because they've got issues.
Yeah, no,
and
absolutely.
You know,
How did you handle it, Sophie?
for me, the only way to handle it was to be strong in myself and to try and realise that whatever this person is saying to me, it doesn't affect me.
No,
it has
it's
no
their problem.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt sorry for
But
that
you can
person.
imagine for those people who have to go back into that situation. Like, you could walk away and know you don't have to go back into that situation. It was one moment. Imagine going through that day in, day out. I mean, it must be...
I think there are a lot of marriages or partnerships where one person bullies the other person, and to the outside world, they seem like a perfectly happy couple.
Yeah.
But what goes on at home is something else entirely. And I think in that situation, it is bullying, but you have to find someone to talk to who's not going to be judgmental.
Yeah.
And sometimes it might be a counsellor, or it might be relationship counselling or whatever. You need to find someone who doesn't know either of you, who's going to be neutral.
But also, if somebody tells you how they're feeling and I feel like I'm being bullied, you know, help them. Don't just go, oh, it's not my problem, walk away, they're not bothering me. You've got, you know, be that friend. But I mean, like I said before, we've been inundated with viewers and questions that they want answering. So we've got a few here to read out. Ruth says, being bullied as an adult is just as hard as being bullied as a child, and I am still struggling to get over it. Now, the Diana Awards advice is, whatever your age, it's essential that you open up about your experience to your support network and don't bottle up the feelings. Nobody should go through the bullying alone. You have to find the strength, don't you, to find that support network and constantly open up and let them know. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It happens to all ages of everybody.
Well, I've got Leanne's experiences here. Leanne says, I'm being bullied by family at the minute through no fault of my own. It really does get me down. What should I do? And the Diana Awards advice is, talk calmly to the person, tell them how their actions and words are making you feel, and they may not realise. Now, what I think about that is, you might not have the strength to talk calmly to that person. They might be a blood relative. They might be your own sister, husband, brother, whatever. I think sometimes talking calmly, that takes more guts. Even I'm sitting here saying I wouldn't have the guts to do that. What I would suggest is that you write down how you feel on a piece of paper. You don't say anything and you just hand it to the person. And, you know, that's a good way to stop it and to confront them, because there it is, written out.
And they have to read it.
Rebecca says, I'm being bullied at work. I've brushed it off in the past, but it's gotten worse recently. I'm now at the point of leaving my job. What can I do? The Diana Awards advice says, if bullying is happening in the workplace, familiarise yourself with the organisation's anti-bullying policy and follow the appropriate procedure. Obviously, I think that's a great thing to do.
What if it's a small company and they haven't got that facility?
Try and find somebody that you can talk to outside of the situation.
Or work colleagues that can back you up and, you know, go forward.
There might be other people in that workplace that are feeling exactly the same way as you, and it's a lot easier to then confront these people when there's more than one person and you can stand together.
If you've enjoyed that, then why not click here for more? And don't forget to subscribe by clicking here so that you never miss out on the best Loose Women moments.